Are we live? It cut out
Yeah,
for 15.
yeah, it's just the 10-second delay.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So pretty much anyone on YouTube is gonna see it as the 15, but
So are we good to go then? Or no, not yet.
yep, good to go.
Oh, my bad. All right.
Yeah,
Sorry
good to
about
go.
that, gentlemen. Welcome back to Left Lane Chronicles, where we ride the raw roads and speak the truth no matter where it leads. This is episode 6, and today's guest isn't just out here throwing opinions. He's slicing through the noise with logic, from deep dives on current events to peeling back the layers of mainstream narratives. This brother is a lighthouse in the fog of clickbait. Let's hit the throttle and keep it logical.
All right.
All right.
Love it.
Right on.
I just want to start off by saying it is an honor to have you on here. Um, I know for a fact that you are just a well of knowledge, especially after watching you on you guys' podcast and whatnot. So, hey, I'm ready to get these answers. I know everyone watching is ready to get these answers because we got some questions that
Okay.
we want to pick your brain a little bit.
All right. All right. Ain't no problem with it. It's good to be here, guys. It's good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Right on. So, what first made you decide to start your YouTube channel, Keep It Logical?
Actually, the first reason why I wanted to do it because I wanted to get off of Facebook because Facebook had a lot of restrictions on it. And so I said, well, let me just go over to YouTube because I have a little bit more freedom on there. And then my idea of going on live on YouTube was just, hey, whatever I do, whenever I go somewhere, I just want to continue just to share my journey, to share everything that I do with anybody that want to listen. I never really wanted a podcast because I always told people I don't got nothing to say, so I'll just put stuff out there as I go along. So yeah, and it just took off. It took off. People started following and everything. It's been a journey so far.
So, do you define your approach more of as a teacher or a commentator in your space?
Wow, teacher or a commentator? Um, a little of both. Because as I am like if I'm at an event, as I'm going through the event, something always comes up, something always pops up that gives me a teachable moment. I call it a logical moment, and I'm allowed to just to share an insight with people when I see things. I was at Black Wall Street one time in a parking lot, and
Wow.
something hit me in the parking lot, and I just went into a teaching type moment. So I guess it's a little bit of both. If you want to say that, it's kind of I never thought about that before.
hmm So, do you feel like logical thinking is under attack in social media in the age that we're in, with the news and bigger things going on, or what did you think is the biggest threat to honest conversation? I guess is what I'm asking you.
People not being honest.
True that.
The thing about
True,
honest
set you free,
conversation,
right?
you have to be honest with who you are and what you believe in, and whether you're wrong or right. A lot of people don't want to speak up because somebody else may have a different commentary, a different thought on what they believe. And it's like, you know what? Instead of saying, you know what, I never thought about it that way. Maybe I need to rethink it. A lot of people just go along with whatever the mainstream says, they'll just go along with it. They can't be honest or true to themselves. I'm unapologetically true to myself, no matter what. If I'm wrong, then I'm teachable. Just teach me. If I'm wrong, I'll correct myself.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I'm not afraid to say, you know what, guys, I was wrong with that. If I said something to someone, I apologize. Because either I was out of place or I was just wrong. My education on that one thing was incorrect. People don't want to speak their truth, and they're afraid of rebuttal. They're afraid of people coming at them.
Right. Maybe, obviously, no offense. Maybe that comes with older age, being able to just be humble and accountable for what you've already said and done.
Yeah, you can say that. I'm not old, but
Right.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
I refuse that. I just
I rebuke that. Yeah,
I rebuke that. It's
yeah.
funny. I said in church today. I said, and sometimes I'll break away from what I'm speaking on, and I'll crack into something like that. And I said, I don't know how old y'all out there, but my grandson came up here one time and said, "Oh, it's all right, Pop, y'all, you was born in the 1900s." And I was like, wait a minute, don't you talk? I said, wait a minute.
Wow.
So he kind of right.
When you say it like that, it doesn't sound so good.
Like that,
Man. Wow.
I mean, well, dang, I think that makes us all old. Then,
right. Exactly. So you were born in the 1900s. We the millennium. I'm like, oh, what? Wait a minute now. Wait.
So your content is different for people who are tired of fake narratives. Do you hope that it? Hold on. How do you hope listeners, or who do you hope listens to what you have to say the most? Like, what is the kind of people you're attempting to reach? Like your
My
followers?
audience. I really, spiritually, I call myself an apologist to Scripture, and that is defending the true message of Scripture, and then that transcends over into how I live my life. People say, why you say logic? Where logic come from? Because if it doesn't make sense to me, I don't really bother with it until it makes sense to me. If I am on a plane of understanding, I'm gonna stay on that plane. So I see other people, and if I think that they may be going wrong because of how I perceive it, I'll try to find a logical path. Either I just don't see it their way, or maybe I can help them refine where they're going on the motorcycle ministry. If I think that, what I think about ministry is serving. If I think there's a preacher, minister, evangelist, or what have you, a nonprofit organization out there that's trying to grab money from people instead of serving people, they're my audience. They are the ones I'm going to teach and try to help them, not put them, but try to help them get back on track to what is real service. How do you really serve people? It's not always about getting money. So my audience is anybody that really wants to listen, or probably want to grow from where they are to reach a new level of understanding.
So do you think there's anything too taboo that you won't discuss on your channel?
No. I'm open for anybody. If anybody want to talk about anything, and it's funny you say that. I have, during our Bible study, I'll say, okay, anybody have any burning questions? And then I said, before you ask that, say anything, it doesn't have to be about church. Because anything that people, if I'm in a position to be able to facilitate questions and answers, I believe that that God already prepared me for the question. So right. Even if I don't know, I know where to find it. So right. I'm open for any. I'll talk about anything really.
So what is the biggest misunderstanding from being a preacher to attempting to well, not attempting to do, excuse me, from being a preacher to being in the motorcycle ministry to being on the set? Like, what's the most misunderstood that you think people have between the two?
That every because you can be in the motorcycle ministry and not be a preacher. So I'm gonna hit it from two different standpoints. Okay. That being a preacher on a motorcycle set, that every time I go out there, I'm carrying my Bible and I'm gonna preach to people, and I'm not doing that. I minister to people by just my walk, just by how I communicate with people, how I commune with people. You have to understand the environment that you're in if you're trying to win souls, or if you're just trying to get people to understand. If you need a voice, you need an ear, you need to talk about something, I'm here. But if you don't need that, hey, I'm just here to hang around and say, hey, how you doing? I smoke a cigar with you. No, I don't drink in public or anything like that. I'm not going to drink. I ain't going to smoke weed with you. I ain't going to do anything like that with you. But I'm here if you need me. A lot of people would think that every time a preacher show up, they got to stop what they're doing. No. You don't have to stop what you're doing. Just keep doing. I know how to move. If I'm coming around a group of people that are doing something I'm just not comfortable with, I'll just move on and go talk to this other group of people. I'm not going to set up a tent and say, come on over here, let me baptize you, and God is against you or anything like that. That's one misconception. And another misconception on the set is that preachers that ride, well, some do that, but we don't care about protocol. And that's not true. I've said it, I don't know if this is going to be in your line of questioning, but I've said it on Black Dragon Show and other shows. I spent 10 years trying to understand and learning motorcycle protocol before we even started the motorcycle ministry. because I can't mingle. I don't believe we can mingle and mix with anybody on a MC set, no matter what set you are from California to New York, if I don't understand and respect the protocol and the traditions that MCs go by. I think that's a violation if we go out there and do that. Oh, I'm a preacher. I'm a motorcycle ministry, so I don't have to abide by that. And that's, to me, that's incorrect.
I appreciate that. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I think if you're going to come in this world, you should learn about it. It would be naive not to do it. If that's how people get hurt, that's how bad things and that's how good clubs fall apart, by allowing silly things and silly people to be a part of it. But I digress. So when it's all said and done, what do you want Keep It Logical to stand for?
I just want Keep It Logical. I want it to stand for to help people look inside themselves and see and get a foundation of who they are. Is what I'm doing logical? Is this right? Is this the right thing to do? I mean, should I be doing this? Is it right for me? You know, I know you have some people have a lot of rah-rah people around them. They have a crowd around them whispering in their ears. But what is right for you and your journey, your destiny? If that's the path you want to go on, walk that path, but understand that every path we walk on has consequences, both positive and negative. If you want to stay away from the negative consequences, then that path that you're working on is not logical. It's not logical for you to go that way. And you don't want to walk a negative path. If not logical for you to go this way, to drink with everybody, if you don't want to be an alcoholic. I used to be a drunk. I had to stop that because I was killing myself. So the logical thing for me to do was to slow down and then get away from it until my tolerance comes so low that if I tried to drink like I used to, I just get sick. And that's where I'm at now. So I want people to see by my living, maybe, that you can also redirect your path into a logical path to whatever destiny you're trying to get to.
I think that's a good way to be. I'm no preacher by any stretch, but a good way to be a Christian is by leading by example, or showing yourself as being Christ-like. Treating people the way you should be. Wilson, you got anything you want to?
Yeah. So I would say my question would be, when did the call to preach hit you, and how did you know it was God and not ego? Most men confuse platform with the purpose. What confirmed to you that this is your assignment?
I had just said I used to drink heavily. I grew up in the church, but then I left the church when I graduated out of high school. I said I'm never going to church again. Went through the military, got out of the military, went to college, got out. When I got out of the military, went back to college and everything. And my wife that I have now, one day she said, "Well, if you don't come to church with me, I'm leaving you." And I didn't want her to leave me. So
that's one way to do it.
Right. So I got back in church. And when I got back in church, everything we do, y'all both military?
Yes, we was both.
Okay, so you know this.
We were in the Marine Corps together.
Everything you do, you have a purpose and you have a goal. If I knew my regs and everything in the military, I'm also a Mason. If I knew my ritual and everything, if I'm gonna get back in church, I'm gonna learn this word and everything, just like I learned everything else. As I matriculated and went through that, I drove the van. I became a deacon. I became a trustee. But there was one day that it felt, as a deacon, you get up and do devotional. And I did a devotional, and the pastor said, what you really did was a mini sermon. I'm like, I did? Really? Okay, whatever. But it became easy for me. It became like a lifestyle to me to go ahead and keep doing that and keep studying. And then I just had, really, it might sound cliche-ish, but I had a dream. I had a dream about leading the church. I had a dream about preaching in front of a lot of people. And it scared me because I never wanted to be a preacher. No, it wasn't in no. I wanted to be a millionaire at 25, And I don't know if y'all ever heard me say this joke, but it was something that was real. I wanted to be a millionaire by the time I turned 25, sitting on my couch on a Sunday, smoking weed and drinking a beer. That was me. That was my vision. But God said, no, you're not going to be doing that. You're going to minister to people. And since I grew up with a mother that was a foster parent, her best friends were foster parents. My great aunts were foster parents. It was in me to help people automatically, and that's how I grew. I know preachers that say, when I was 16, 15 years old, I was out in the backyard on a box preaching to people. I said I was throwing rocks through windows. So that wasn't me. And to become a pastor, it was just since I was already a minister, that dream took 9 years. After that dream took 9 years for me to say, I think I'm ready to become a pastor, because God is calling me to lead my own flock, to lead people in the way that I minister. Other ministers say you have a way to reach people in the streets. And because I'm not afraid to go in the streets, I'm not afraid to go in the hood, I'm not afraid to go in the projects, because I've been there. And now I can take the message of God back there and be able to speak the language of the hood. Yo, man, now, I'm tell you this quick story. I was around a bunch of teenagers, and they were smoking weed. And I walked up to them. They knew I was a preacher in the clubhouse. And I just stood there and looked at him. One guy put his joint in his pocket. The other guy was just holding his breath. And I just stood there and didn't say a word. I said, man, you got to choke if you don't let that smoke out. I said, I'm not here to condemn y'all. I just want to know, what are y'all doing on Wednesday night? We're serving lunch upstairs in the clubhouse, and we have a little Bible study. And they came for the food because they were hungry. But then they stayed for the spiritual food because their spirit was hungry.
Right.
Oh, and I just kept going on and on like that. So it was a calling that I heard, and since I'm the type of person, I'm gonna do this to the best of my ability, no matter how big the church was or small the church was, the difficulties on the set, I was gonna keep pushing forward.
I believe that by doing these things, you actually help a lot of people in ways that they don't even see that they needed themselves. And coming up, my grandma and both on both sides of the house, both grandparents, sets of grandparents, they would like take us to church and whatnot. I was that kid that would fall asleep, and my grandma slapped me in the head. So, and even to this day, like they still speak, the word into you. They always make sure that you have something to speak. They feed your spirit. So that leads me to the next question, because I know you go out into hood and stuff like that, and you connect with these people that's in these neighborhoods and whatnot, which some people don't want to do, and I applaud you for that. And that goes to, how do you protect your spirit in a world that rewards performance over presence?
That rewards performance over. I have to truly understand what my mission is, and truly understand what my vision is. And this is what I teach other preachers. If you do not have a vision from God, when stuff don't go right, you'll fall and you'll give up. When you have a vision and it's in your heart, no matter what obstacles come, good things, bad things, people not wanting to hear you, society don't care about church anymore, you'll continue your mission if you know what your vision is, if you know what your mission is. I'd say tell people like this: you need the Spirit of God to keep you going forward, because if it was up to man, we would have been quit. And then I said, do you understand? Can you imagine if God gave us the ability to control our heartbeat? I said, half of y'all be dead.
That's not wrong.
And he was like, you know what? I'm tired of this thump. I'm just not going to thump today.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's out of your control. So, but in a society where, and especially our society, in a society, and especially after 2020, in a society that really looks at the church as a money grab, it is difficult for preachers that really want to help people to get out and help people, because society has this vision of the mega church, the pastor with the big car, the pastor with the big mansion. It has that vision. And I tell people, you know, I got a job. You know, I work. I work for a living. I have a career. I've been in the military. I have a career mindset. I have an entrepreneur. I don't need your money, because your money is, when you give something to the church, I can show you that the church uses it, what the church uses it for. But in that society that we live in, it's more important now that we, as you said, cut off, we walk the walk. Show me. You know, y'all probably heard this phrase before, and I learned this phrase from another preacher. Said, the streets don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Right.
You know, if they don't accept you, keep going. They don't accept you, keep going, because they're going to test you. Just like the motorcycle set. When I first came on and I went to the OMC clubhouse, they're going to test me. They did. And then they told me, I'll let you know, Logic, we tested you to see if you was a real preacher.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because we had preachers come up in here, and next thing you know, the PO's got his pants down to his knees, you know, over there, you know.
Yeah.
But and they
that's the truth, though. That is the truth.
Yeah. You know, so if you can't hold the line to what God called you, then don't get out here. Definitely don't go out into the streets, because you're gonna be tried. You're gonna be tested. Definitely don't go in the hood and don't understand the inner city mentality. If you don't understand, I don't care what part of the country you're from, if you don't understand the mentality of the inner city, don't go. Because then you're gonna go out there and you're gonna say something to somebody that they're gonna be like, who are you talking to? You know? So in this society, I protect my spirit by maintaining what my vision is. Where am I going? What is God trying to use me for at this moment? So I protect it by keeping that on my mind.
Have you ever preached something that you were still struggling to believe yourself?
Yes. And the reason why is every sermon that a preacher should preach should teach him. If you preach a sermon, it's only for you, it's for you, it's for you, it's for you. You're not learning. So I preached the sermon many times before. I said, Lord, for real? Do I really have to say, no, well, it's not really for the congregation. This one is for you, because you're tripping right now. Because sometimes we trip. Sometimes, you know, I don't feel like preaching. You know what? They ain't listening to me. They didn't amen me today. So forget them. So I'll preach a sermon. God to give me a sermon to preach. And really, while I'm writing, while I'm studying, while I'm going through all this, it's speaking to me. But if I'm upset at that moment, I don't even want to hear it. Mm-hmm. But since it's a call and you're going to do what God tells you to do, you're going to preach it anyway. And that might be the most powerful sermon or message. You don't even have to be a sermon. It can be a Bible study message that you deliver. And I find it hard to believe because I'm struggling with it.
Right.
I'm struggling with this myself. So how can I teach somebody with something I'm struggling with? Mm-hmm. And then the message comes that because I teach everybody at the same time, even the messenger.
So what is is that what obedience looks like when your faith feels thin?
When your faith
feels thin, that's what obedience, that's what you're just explaining. That's what obedience feels.
Yes, because you have to be obedient to the call. Right. You have to be obedient to the call, or don't get out there. Don't open your mouth. If you can't be obedient to it, don't open your mouth. Mm-hmm. And if you're doing something that, if I'm teaching you something, telling you God doesn't like what you're doing, and I'm doing it, I should feel bad.
Right.
I mean, I should even feel bad saying it. And when I go home, I should feel bad until I'm on my face apologizing and said, okay, Lord, help me with the struggle. Help me with this sin. Help me with what I'm doing. Because if you got me teaching them, what if they find out I'm doing this? Now I'm messing up their faith. Right. How is he a preacher and he's doing the same thing I'm doing? You know?
You think that hurts other preachers? For sure. I would think it would.
Oh yeah. Well,
people,
it
like,
should. It should hurt.
false
If there's a
preaching.
preacher that can preach something, if I'm preaching you on telling you not to steal, and I'm out here planning to rob Bank of America, then something's wrong with my preaching. You know,
right.
something's wrong with that.
True.
Or you locking doors so people could go ahead and pay money, so pay their tithes.
Yeah, we got so many people watching.
That was pretty crazy.
That was wild.
Right.
That's a wild video.
People, and I ask my pastor friends, I say, y'all know what the most difficult part of my whole church service is? Offering time. I'm terrible at that. I am. When I first started the church, we didn't even do offering. Because I don't believe, because in my mindset, you see, I had to be educated. In my mindset, I don't want people to feel that they had to pay for a word.
Right.
This is free. Freely I have received, freely I shall give. But then somebody had to educate me and said their offering, since it's not for you, is really a benefit for them spiritually. Because that's them showing God how much they trust him with their money. Not you as a preacher, not the church, how much they trust God. So you not allowing them to give an offering to God, you really are denying them a blessing from God. And I was like, oh, I didn't even think about it that way. So, yeah.
So I guess you pretty much already answered the question I have for you, because it ties into the military background aspect and also what you were saying as far as, speaking what you preach, So how do you carry both authority and humility without compromising either?
How do I carry authority and humility? Well, humility should come first. You cannot have authority over anyone if you can't humble yourself down to someone. Don't tell me how many people follow you until you tell me who you're following. If I have people around me, I call it my accountability board, and I surround myself with people that can get in my face and cuss me out and tell me I'm wrong, to keep me humble. Because anything that I do is a humble experience. Because for me to be on anybody's platform is a privilege. I don't believe that I deserve it. So I say, to God be the glory. And somebody say, oh, you did a good job. To God be the glory, because that's my humility. Now, after I show my humility, then I can take authority over certain situations. I can take authority over the congregation as an under shepherd. I can take authority over our motorcycle ministry. In our motorcycle ministry, we have 3 pastors, and I'm the president. And I don't think that I assert authority over them, but they follow my guidance because I have more understanding on the motorcycle set than they do. So without humility, you cannot exert authority, because then you think you're better than everybody else. You think that no one can tell you anything. You think that what I say goes without any checks and balances. That's a person that does not have humility in themselves. So without humility, you cannot have authority. But with humility, then you can walk in an authoritative position. Because when I look at someone, I'm not looking down at them. I'm looking here, even though I have a higher position. That's how we operate in the church. I empower the people in the church. I don't say, you can do this, you can do this. I empower them to do something. I bring people along and I say, hey, I hope you can. Now, one thing about me, I'll say, I hope you have a strong will, because I can talk myself into something. I can talk people into something that'll be 100% wrong. And that's just because I got a strong will. But now you need to have people around you that got that same level of strength, but respect for your position. They can say, no, that ain't our treasurer. I'm like, I want to do this. I want to do this. Pastor, we can't do that. Why? Well, I don't know. They'll lose that argument every day. But if they come to me and say, because we don't got the money, because we got to take care of this, we got to take care of that. And I'm like, okay, all right, okay, I can't do that. So yeah, you cannot have authority without being humble first, in my opinion.
And so I do have a question. So I know a guy. He's actually in the comments. Bobby. This guy, he ground pounds all the time, and he's also in the motorcycle ministry as well.
Okay.
And is that just like y'all all just be ground pounding left and right? Because that man stay on the road. Like
not everybody. No, not everybody. And I have to admit, one of our OMCs it's actually one of the bosses of Texas at the time. He came up and told me, and he said, Logic, I'm gonna tell you, you ain't never gonna get nobody in that doggone ministry of yours. I said, why? He said, because you're always on the road. He said, everybody's not gonna ride like that. I said, no, man, I ride around. He said, no, where were you last week? You was in Ohio. Where were you at 2 weeks ago? You was down in Florida. Where were you? I said, oh. He said, man, you have to have people that can't ride that far, but they'll stay local and handle the business local. Everybody can't be a ground pounder. And when the first time I heard that word, somebody said, you're a ground pounder. And I said, well, I'll accept that, but I'll never call myself that. I'll accept it from you, but I ain't gonna go and say, I'm a ground pounder. I'll laugh at people. You know how we get the bikers, we get there. You gotta have thick skin on the set. If you don't got thick skin on the set, get off the set. Right. Because you're gonna get talked about. But here's the humility again. We can joke with each other, but I'll never put somebody down because they can't ride 1,200 miles at one time.
Right.
I ain't gonna put somebody down like that. I can do it, but right now my nerves are still burning from the ride that I did. There's a consequence to that. So not all people, not everybody in the motorcycle ministry will get out on the road and knock down a whole day, sun up to sundown. Not a lot of them.
Yeah, because I guess my understanding, whenever I see like them out, it was, maybe like y'all do like you said, y'all have mission, y'all have goals. Do y'all ever just like say, hey, we're gonna do, say, a sermon or a ceremony, whatever it is that y'all do, like y'all go travel out and do it, or y'all just stay within a local area? So like, do you go state to state, like kind of like a rodeo, like in the military, they always had like rodeo shows and stuff. So do y'all do those type of things so that way y'all can reach out to a bigger audience? Or
if we did that, we haven't done that yet. I have a bikers crusade coming up in October with a brother pastor over there in Charlotte, North Carolina. He used to be a president of a motorcycle ministry. He got out of it. He's still a pastor, but he got out the motorcycle ministry and went to a regular MC. But he still does ministry work, and we're doing a preacher's crusade, a motorcycle crusade, and I'm riding North Carolina, and we're going to preach. But not all motorcycle ministries do that unless they're linking up with another motorcycle ministry in another area. Would that be a great thing to do? Yes, like a crusade across the country and everything. And something in the back of my head, but crusade across the country to do something like that. That would be great. At the same time, back to protocol. You have to understand the different areas. You have to understand. There's a lot of people that they can give a flying flip if you got an MM on the back of your vest.
True.
People, you shouldn't have to, whatever, what I shouldn't have to do. Okay, I got you, but I'm making a phone call anyway. Okay. Just in case.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, just to be safe.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever, is that kind of, so I've only ever been around motorcycle ministries when we've done like the blessing of the bikes or like, parades. Sometimes they come around and do some things. They never came to like the clubhouse or partied with us or anything like that. So is that kind of, do you think being a preacher, because I understand not every single one of them are preachers, but you being a pastor, does that lead you into some of these clubhouses where some of your members, or not your members, but some guys that are in motorcycle ministries might not necessarily go?
There are. I'm coming to your day party and I'm gonna eat your food. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it right now. Logic is gonna be there. But at the same time, I know people. I know another motorcycle ministry. The president, vice president, They'll go in, they'll walk around, they'll shake everybody's hand, they'll stop, they get them a drink, they'll walk around again, and then they're gone.
Mm.
Me, I'll show up at, like I said, a day party. And if it's a day party, out there having fun, they might be tug of war and everything. If I don't got nothing to do, I'm gonna stay there all day, especially if your day party's at Harley Davidson. I mean, now I have been to the MC clubs. I've been to the MC clubs. Let's just talk about the OMC. The OMC around here, they know me now. They know Logic is gonna come, and they have an open house on Friday. Logic's gonna be here at 7:00. He's gonna come in. We're gonna give him his Sprite. He's gonna greet all the brothers. I'm not there to greet the rest of the set that's coming. I'm there to greet the brothers in that clubhouse. I'm gone before the party starts. And they know that. They know he's gonna be out of here before the real party starts. I'm out the door, I'm on the road. So that there's no compromise. There is no ambiguity to why the pastor here and they got the lady on the pole. Do I know that goes on? Yes, I know that goes on. But am I there? No, I'm not there. But there are motorcycle ministries that will abstain from the clubhouse altogether. Now, this is something cut off that I learned in my growth, if you want to say, through motorcycle protocol and how do you greet up somebody from an MC or OMC or what have you. And this happened to me one time. I was at a bar and grill, but this bar and grill was frequent by banditos. Well, one brother came up to me, man, I like you, man. I like you, man. You want a beer? No, I don't drink beer. I was like that. But I was always taught, don't turn it down. So I took the beer, and an hour later he said, I can tell you don't drink because you've been holding up to that beer for an hour. But and I also learned that you greet people, buy somebody a beer. This is in my growth. So what I got a habit of doing now, and don't all y'all out there don't think, okay, we're gonna call Logic and get some free beer. But there's been clubs, MC clubs around here. If they open up a new clubhouse, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna buy a cutoff of beer. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come with 2 cases of beer. This is a gift from the ministry to the clubhouse.
Wow.
And they'll take it. I've done that a few times. If it's an anniversary, I'm coming to bring in a gift to the clubhouse. That's it. Now I bought everybody in the clubhouse a beer. Whatever y'all do with the beer, they do with the beer. But I did that out of respect. Do I have to? No, of course not. But that's something I do. Do all motorcycle ministry do that? Absolutely not. That's just something I do. And
I'm sure it gives you the opportunity to also go inside and talk to them about, maybe not push Christ down your throat, but it gives you the opportunity to talk about it or bring it up in a situation, or maybe somebody's depressed or sad or whatever the case may be. I don't know, but gives you the opportunity, because in some of those places, that's probably I know for a fact there's no probably. Some of those places are the only time you're going to see a preacher. Is like, you bringing in that beer. That might be the only time that brother's seen a preacher in the last 10 years. Who knows what their situation might be, but yeah, that's pretty cool.
I've had that said to me. They said, Pastor, you're the closest thing to a church I'm gonna ever get to.
Well, that means something.
So you being here, out here hanging out with us outlaws, or us bad boys. This is his words. He said that's good because I can take you around the corner and share some things with you.
True. Have you ever had to? I mean, it's none of my business, I guess. But have you ever led somebody to be saved inside of a clubhouse?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Not inside the clubhouse. We walked out. We was outside.
Yeah.
And they, was out in the, in the front of the clubhouse. And he said, "Can we walk down the street?" So yeah. I've had brothers walk up to me, in their clubhouse, in their patch, just walk up to me, hug me, and start crying.
Wow.
And I'm speaking to them in their ear.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I've had that. I've been at the hospital rooms where brothers went down, and they're saying, well, Pastor Logic, man, we're glad you're here. We're glad you're on the set. And my response, to God be the glory. That's that humility coming out. So I've been in situations like that. And then I've also learned how to become and how to maintain neutrality, being neutral. I've talked to everyone. I'll talk to everyone. Yeah. You in trouble. You don't like that person over there, but I'm letting you know right now. I have to be neutral.
Mm-hmm.
If they need me to pray, I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna pray.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that was my naivety of coming into this whole thing, is that I thought everybody liked each other. I thought we all just rode motorcycles, and we all like to ride motorcycles and drink and go out and travel and meet new people and go new places. And hey, he's got a different set of rags on, but it's okay. We all just ride and build bikes. Yeah, right. So I got a question for you. So how do you respond when someone you poured into turns their back on you? Like, not just walking away, but maybe twisted your name, maybe questions your character. Do you pray for them, or do you? I mean, how do you?
I always pray for them. I've had preachers berate me, and because of a message I may have said that they thought I was talking about them as an individual, and I had to, as a man, talk to them face to face or talk to them one on one. I don't blast anybody out loud, because that's not what I'm here to do. But if I have an issue with Joe Bob over here, I'm gonna speak to Joe Bob. If Joe Bob, I'm gonna knock his head off, or maybe I won't walk up to him. I'm gonna get my head knocked off, but I'm gonna find a way to communicate with him. But yes, definitely, I definitely pray for him. I pray for everyone. Somebody don't like me, I pray for them. But I do know how to handle myself as well. Yeah, I know how to keep myself out of harm's way.
I hear you. I hear you.
So I feel you have to maintain that professionalism, regardless of where you are, whether it's behind closed doors or not. And hearing you say that, I'm pretty sure everyone that's watching, they can take that and add it to their toolbox as well. Because sometimes you do have times where you do get flustered or upset, and you allow, that anger to get the best of it. But hearing your words today, actually, it resonates where it's like, maybe you should take that time and step back and see things from a different light versus just acting off of pure instinct. And honestly, I think that that's some great knowledge that you just passed down throughout this entire podcast, this entire show.
Yeah. Sometimes when you type, because we're in this age, when you finish blasting somebody in your text, your post, or whatever, before you hit enter, read it. Say, do I really have to do this? Not do I really want to, but do I really have to? I done backspaced a whole lot of text and a whole lot of stuff, in my days. And I done backspaced it all the way out and say, it's not even worth it.
I've done that. I've definitely done that.
Yeah.
Whether it was recently, a few months ago, last year, whatever.
Right.
I'm definitely, I know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. And that also goes as far as like with personal growth as well. Mm-hmm. I feel like you should definitely like think before you act. Mm-hmm. When I was younger, there was times I didn't even think. I would just react to everything, and I was just jumping.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But now, more so, I kind of like take that step back and like, you know what, is it really worth the headache or the consequence that this action could bring?
Right. You have more to lose as we get older than we did when we was young. We didn't care. I had a mindset that, I'm gonna do what I want to do and deal with the consequences afterward. That kind of stuff didn't work when I went in the military.
Yeah.
Trust me, I can contest to that.
Oh, you just gonna do what you want to do, right? All right, okay. Let's see how that works out for you. But yeah, guys.
I think Cutoff may have another question. Do you have another question?
I think that's everything. Well, I got one more for you. What would 17-year-old you say to you right now? Or what would you say to 17-year-old you, I should say? Or maybe not even 17, maybe 21, 22. That was the time I joined the motorcycle set, I guess, really.
22-year-old me, if I was to say something. First of all, if I say anything to my 22-year-old self right now, 22-year-old would not listen to me.
Right.
He ain't listening to nothing I'm saying right now. But I would really tell him just to stay calm. Stay calm. I was a very, very extremely um angry and violent person in my younger age. What you just said a little bit ago, when we was younger, we just did. I fought all the time. If there was, and when I fought, I enjoyed seeing people hurt, and that's what I got delivered from. When I tell people I'm been delivered for real, and I'm not saying I'm the only one, 'cause I know a whole lot of people that's worse than me. But I'm going to speak about me. I enjoyed confrontation when I was younger. So me talking to my younger self, I can talk to I'm blue in the face. My young self ain't gonna hear, wouldn't hear. He'll just say, "Okay, yeah, all right, man, y'all heard him. Get this dude away from me, because I'm gonna still hit this dude right here." So, but I would tell him just try to stay calm. Just try to stay calm.
Shawil, you got anything else?
Um, I asked all my questions. Hey, I learned a lot tonight. I will say that. And trust me, it's not one of them situations where words went in one ear and out the other. Like, that knowledge will definitely be in my toolbox, and I'll retain it and utilize it to the best of my abilities.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Is that your bike behind you?
The blue one, yep.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay.
She got to get clean today because the road, you know, she went through a swarm of insects today.
Oh, I understand. I finally washed mine yesterday.
Well, Pastor, before I do my outro, is there anything that you would like to say?
Yeah, I'm gonna give a shout out to both of y'all, Left Lane Chronicles. This was really an honor to come on y'all broadcast and share any little bit of knowledge that I have to help anyone out there um, ride or commune with other people on a different level. Just remember that whenever tough situations hit you, there's always a way out of it. There's always a way out of it. You just have to open up your mind to see that doorway that's open for you to escape or to take another positive path. Thank y'all.
All right. This isn't just entertainment. It's about waking folks up without tearing them down. That's
sir.
what the left lane is about. No filters, no pondering, no begging for followers. Just two wheels, one truth, and the courage to speak when most stay silent. Logic didn't come here to entertain. He came here to wake something up inside of you, because clarity is a form of rebellion, and real men don't fold just to fit in. If you're still watching, then maybe this one was for you. Stay dangerous, stay dialed in. Salute to Logic for keeping it honest, sharp, and unapologetically clear. Until next time, remember, every mile is a memory, every voice is a legacy. Stay in the left lane. Stay dangerous.
And don't forget, keep them twos down.
All right. All right.
Right on.
Blessings, y'all.